Well, good morning, everyone. We're going to do a lot of different little things today, or at least what we can. Just had probably a solid 24 hours worth of rain. It was crazy. Speaking of, I'm going to go check the gauge while we're chatting. Just looked at the radar. There's another huge blob of rain coming, and I think that'll be the last of it for the next couple of days. But what I've got on the agenda before I have to start cleaning up and getting ready for a Christmas party is going back out there finishing the trail. If you watched my last trail building episode, there was just one little section there at the end that I said I was going to hook up to the root rake and push out. I didn't get around to that the other day, so I'm going to go push that out. Then I've got all that firewood in the trail that I need to pick up. Let's see what else. Oh yeah, there's a big lighted stump that's kind of also in the trail, so I got the root rake. I'm going to see if I can dig that out to kind of keep the trail cleared out there. Several more things I could get to. We'll just have to see what kind of time allows, but it's going to be another one of those videos where just kind of jumping from one thing to the next. But curiosity, I knew we had quite a bit. We got almost, what is that, 1 3/4 inches of rain yesterday. So it was just a light rain, just the way I like to get it, and rained all day long. So that's a pretty good bit of rain. I do expect the trail out there to be a bit boggy, so I may not be able to drive through that low swamp area. That's right where I need to dig that lighted stump up. So let's get out there, let's get the tractor hooked up, see what we can get into today. tell y'all what, the power of that tractor to be a compact never ceases to amaze me. So this was that huge lightered stump, and as you can see, I only spent a few seconds on it and I was able to uproot the entire stump. So wasn't expecting that. There's some big old pieces of it I've still got to hand dig out, but this was the entire stump. It's big, it's really big. This camera doesn't do it justice. So I ripped that whole thing out of the ground along with all these other pieces behind me like it was nothing. I figured, hey, since I had the root rake, and before more rain comes and floods me out of this area, as you can see, it's already getting mushy. I went ahead and ripped up an entire section of sweet gum roots over here. It ripped them out pretty easy. That was shocking because that's a huge wad of deep roots. Came over to this mound of roots, ripped them out. What I was trying to do is, that was kind of in the way of the trail, how you drive in here. So now that they're off to the side, I'll come back with an axe, hand clean this up, probably go put the bucket on the tractor, smooth this back out. And I better make this a priority because, like I said, more rain on the radar. This is already getting real mushy. I started spinning down pretty bad up here. Luckily, four drive got me out of there no problem. But I was trying to push that other root ball out, which I did get, and I didn't think the tractor was going to get these. So it always blows my mind what that little tractor is capable of doing. So I got to come back and smooth this out, but now I have all my roots out. That's excellent. Probably the ground being wet helped me with that. And it's nice and wide open here now. So this is the section when you hear me talk about, I'm probably going to get a couple dump truck loads of like real good size rock. I'm going to come pack it in here so I can always drive across this. But I'm going to have to do layer after layer of rock because this will get really mushy once it's underwater, and that rock's going to sink and settle. And probably every few years I'll have to add another layer or two. But that's kind of the plan. Tell you what, we've got a little more rain than I realized. I showed y'all the gauge with 1 3/4 in it, but I forgot to tell you, I just dumped the gauge out a couple days ago. I think it had 1.5 inches in it from our last 24 hours of rain. So over 3 inches in the last week or so, more coming today. And you can see this swamp is starting to fill up now. There's water over there that you probably can't see. This is the lowest area of it, and water goes as far as I can see that direction. So eventually, if we keep getting rain, this will all be back underwater. Where I'm at right now will be a foot plus deep. I've seen it. Actually, the majority of the time, this stays full of water, so this is about as dry as I've ever seen it. So if I'm going to continue to use this trail, rock's going to have to be at some point in my future, but we're going to see how much that costs too, because I'm not going to make this just that big of a priority. Well, I think at this point, since I've done made a mess, I'm going to go back, get the bucket on the tractor, try to smooth some of this out real quick. I'm not looking for it to be perfect. And I guess before this swamp fills up, I need to make it a priority to get all this lightered out of here too. I probably ought to go ahead and see, since I got the root rake, if I can hook that big piece, tote it on out with me. I'll get everything else in the bucket and haul it out. So priorities have just changed a little today. Like I always tell you, I got a million things on my list. I'll make a plan, might jump on something else. Well, here we are. I'd say we had a productive morning. Got some more green wood so I can finish filling up both of those racks over there. And I can't even remember if I recorded or not. Since I had the root rake on the tractor, I went ahead and pushed all this mess back. Reason being, I'm gonna level this area out. And I know I've already talked about it, but I have to extend this wood rack. I'm trying to make my mind up what I'm gonna do. If I'm gonna add 4 more on that end, 4 more bays, whatever you wanna call them, or what I'm thinking about doing is 2 on this end, 2 on that end for 8 total racks. That's why I went ahead and pushed this just so I had that option. So good little mess of green wood, still plenty more of that to come. My lighted pile keeps growing. This is just that one stump alone. So a lot of dirt and nastiness in it. So that's the bad thing about cutting up lighted. Eventually, whenever I get an old chain that I'm about to throw away on one of the chainsaws, I'll come back here and kind of cut this up and then split it with an axe. So I can do a lot of fires off of that. This is some more lighter that I dug out of the woods right here. So getting me a good little stash, and I have a lot more to dig out of there. So I won't burn this than in the next 2 years, no more than I used to start a fire. Still got to split this old wood. Got some more out there to go get. Wasn't even planning on splitting it until I burn down at least one rack, because I'll fill it up. So this video is rocking on a bit long. I'll run you out in the woods, show you a little bit of what I've done, and talk about what's coming next. All right, so I worked on this a little, and you can see that I was starting to bring some dirt in today. And what's happening is as I'm beating these tracks through the woods now with the heavy tractor, I'm starting to discover all these roots on these big trees. And I'm not about to go digging up roots and potentially kill a tree. So I figured every time I make a trip in here to get firewood or anything in the future, I'll bring a scoop of dirt with me. And I've been kind of building smooth transitions or ramps over these big roots. I've still got to haul a little bit in here, do some work. There's no stump. I just brought my chainsaw with me. Got to cut this whole tree out. I couldn't dig it up because there's a pretty big stump right here I kept hanging up on. Then I'll take the garden rake, you know, kind of smooth this out, take the axe, get some roots. There's still a lot of work to do here, but I've got my rough trail in now. So here's where I was hauling the dirt. There was a very large root sticking up several inches. You can still see it right there right now off this tree. And again, not going to hurt no trees and dig up no roots. I don't have to. So I'll keep bringing me a load of dirt in here and kind of make me a smooth transition over this. Same thing there. There was a bunch of just gnarly roots, and it was rocking the tractor bad. So it wants to knock the firewood out the bucket, knock the dirt out, etc. That's pretty smooth now. I'll probably put one more bucket load on that. But right here where this big stump is, or root, excuse me, I need to haul one more load in here and just kind of smooth this over. So I'll continue to do that for the next few months. Every time I come in here, maybe it might take me a year or more to get all this smooth. You can see this root right here. Got to make me a little transition over that. This whole area right here is pretty rough, bunch of roots. So it's a work in progress. Gives me something to look forward to, some work to do in the future. Like I said, this video is getting a bit long, so I'm probably gonna cut it short right here. I was gonna hook up to the chipper and try to make another video today, but it's starting to rain right now. And I got to look at the radar because earlier there was a lot of rain on the radar, so we'll see what that looks like. The old swamp crossing back there, I got it as smooth as I could get it. It's starting to get really mushy. The tractor's heavy, so I'm starting to tear it up more than I'm helping it. So I got that plenty smooth enough for the Ranger to go in and out of, but I might have to leave it alone either until it dries or until I get some rock hauled in here, and then I'll just start layering it and packing it in. So, with that said, thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this. Kind of another one of those all over the place videos. Coming up will be probably a woodshed build, chipper video. I got to chip all these limbs, and who knows what else I'll get into. Thanks for watching.